Hello everyone, welcome back to the second video for week 2. I wanted to follow up on some real specifics that have to do with assignments for this course as well as programmatic requirements. And I really hope that this video doesn't cut off right at the most important part like the last one did. But you may want to grab a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen in case you want to take down some notes. But let's first dive into the syllabus for this week, the syllabus for this course. There are two assignments that I really wanted to bring your attention to. One is next week in week 3, you have a PowerPoint or a Prezi due on any of the readings that we've read in this class. It can be the Rafe, it can be the Esquith, it can be the Nieto, it can be any of the other readings that we've done. And to convey what you took from them, to convey what you learned, please, please, please do not summarize, because we know the content. I've read the books. We know the content. What do they mean for you? What did you take from them? What did you learn from them? How might it influence your teaching? And have some fun with it. Use photos, use images, just have some fun with it. And so that is due next week. But the other assignment that I really want to bring your attention to is this one, and it's due week 4, and it says interviews and observations. So in each of the classes in this program, there is a field component, and the field component for this class is 5 hours. For 16-week classes, they're usually about 10 hours, and you're going to interview and observe some teachers or other people in education. So first, let's talk about the interviews. You're going to interview 2 people who have some kind of experience in education. It can be a teacher, it can be a principal, it can be a school counselor, it can be a superintendent, it can be someone who lives here, it can be someone who lives someplace else. So you can either interview them in person or you can do it over the phone. Yes, it can be a family member. You're welcome if your mom taught for years and years like mine has. You're welcome to interview them. In fact, often it seems like people really find out interesting things about family members when they interview them. So you're going to interview 2 people. There aren't set questions because I don't know what you want to know from them. And so what I would encourage you to do is, obviously there's a reason you chose this person. Ask them what you want to know, what you're curious about with education. Probably a minimum of 2 pages at least for each of those people. So you're going to have 2 interviews and 2 observations. 2 observations in a classroom. And one of the readings this week is from Teaching Passionately Theoretically. You're going to observe through the lens of a couple of lenses. First of all, just what do you notice? Just kind of pay attention to what do you notice? Is this something, is this how you want to teach? Is this definitely how you do not want to teach? But what do you notice? The other thing was we're going to be looking to see if it's the philosophy, kind of the founding philosophy of the classroom is going to fall somewhere within the 3 schools of thought that we're looking at this week, which is transmissive, generative, and transformative. So how the classroom is set up is going to be indicative. Where's the teacher's desk? What is the teacher doing? And what are the students doing? Are the students talking? Are they listening? Are they thinking? Are they regurgitating? So that's going to be the observations. So you're going to have 2 interviews, 2 observations. One of those can overlap to where you interview the same people who you observe. Now, people will say, well, Dawn, that's 4 hours and it's a 5-hour assignment. It's because you have 1 hour of wiggle room. Okay, so but in order to get that set up, this class flies by, and in order to get that set up, you probably should start thinking about who do you want to interview, who do you want to observe, getting those set up, making those arrangements, because it'll be here before we know it, and it is due at the end of week 4. So I want to bring your attention to that. Now, another key piece of paperwork, which is in Module 1, is the field observation log. please, 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 please go, if you have not printed this out already, please print this out. You are going to hang on to this for the duration of the program, and then turn it in when you do supervised field experience. So as you can see, the observation log is broken up into, here is where you're going to keep track of the hours from 201A. Here's where you're going to keep track of the hours and the assignments from 201B. So there's the date, the observation or the interview, who did you observe or interview, and then their signature. Now, if this is a phone call, then of course just sign it. I mean, just, write, I interview my best friend, I interview my mom, and just go ahead and sign it right there. You hang on to this for the course of the program. If any instructors ask you to submit this, please make a copy and hang on to the original yourself, because you'll turn this in when you submit the application for supervised field experience. So I wanted to bring your attention to those two documents. Also, if you have not yet, as I mentioned in the previous video, if you have not yet printed out the student guide, please do so. And I mentioned that in the other video. But what I wanted to bring your attention to is that part of being provisionally accepted to this program is that there are some requirements that need to happen before you move on into other, to further in the program. One of that is you need to take the NES Essential Skills Tests, subtests 1, 2, and 3. Now, it may be a little confusing right now because we just switched over, the state of New Mexico, from the NMTA tests to the NES. And this happened literally in January, like this month. So if you have by any chance taken the NMTA basic skills, that will be grandfathered in, and the PED will accept that for the NES Essential Skills subtests 1, 2, and 3. But I wanted to bring your attention to the programs of study on pages 10 and 11. This is going to be your coursework, whether you are elementary, secondary, or special education. And I also wanted to bring your attention to page 14. Has a table that looks like this, and this is going to tell you, this is like a good place to keep track of if I'm going for my elementary license, these are the tests that I need to take. If I'm going for secondary, these are the tests that I need to take. So I just really wanted to give you this reference. Please do read the whole student guide, but I wanted to bring those things especially to your attention. So, anyways, and that interviews and observations assignment that is going to be here before we know it. So I will go ahead and sign off and hope that this whole thing posts. I'm going to leave some questions for you to respond to, and if you have any other questions at all, then please, send them to me, and about clarification for the assignment, clarification about anything. So I very much look forward to a great second week, and I really hope that the whole of this will post. So we'll find out in just a second. Okay? See you in class.